Hello friends, so today's movie I'm going to explain is based on a true event that occurred. When a girl named Gong Ju was raped by 43 boys for a year. So what is the story of the movie, and what will happen to this girl? We'll see in this video, so stay tuned until the end and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you like our videos. So let's begin. Han Gang-ju is a teenage girl residing someplace in Korea. At the beginning of the video, she sits in front of a group of teachers and tells them about her enthusiasm for music and singing. As the adults listen closely, she also maintains her innocence. Yet the collective decide that it would be best if Gong Ju moves to another school where she can start a new life. They do not divulge the reason she is being transferred. Gong Ju has no idea what she is going to do next, so a teacher, Lin Do, volunteers to help her. He chooses a respected school for her in another town and remains with her throughout the moving procedure. After arriving in the new town, Gong Ju now has to hunt for accommodation. Her teacher offers she stay with his mother, Miss Cho, who happens to be a local of the town. At birth, she refuses to let a stranger reside at her house, but despite being pressed by her son, she allows Gong Ju to move in for barely a week. The following day, Gong Ju goes to her new school. She is introduced to the class by her homeroom instructor. After school, she runs to a cyber cafe and checks for her mother's location on the internet. It finds out that Gong Ju's mother had abandoned her and her father a long time ago. She currently resides with her new husband in the same town, but has no clue her daughter has relocated into the area as well. Gong Jaehyu's father is an alcoholic who doesn't care about her location. After the infrared girl trip to the cyber cafe, she returns to Mrs. Cho's convenience store and helps her out with the clients. Because of her kindness, the old lady grows to like her. The following day at school, Gong Ju is walking down the hall when she glances through her classroom window and observes a small group of girls performing an a cappella song. She likes to sing but is too socially uncomfortable to work in groups. When she locks eyes with one of the girls in the group, she quickly runs away. Gong Ju then goes to her swimming class. After moving to town, she has started to exhibit interest in learning how to swim. After the class, Gong Ju is in the changing room humming to his song. The girl who spotted her earlier at the school, named Eunhye, happens to be the leader of the a cappella group. Eunhye sees her singing and covertly tapes her. Later, she approaches Gong Ju and tells her she would be fantastic in the music team. In contrary to what Eunhye had expected, Gong Ju is enraged at her for intruding her private. She refuses to join the music group and storms off. Following that, she heads to her mother's house. Having found where she lives, she is happy to meet her, but her mother doesn't return the emotions. After chatting for a bit, she is told that she cannot stay with her mother due of her stepfather. A sad Gong Ju returns home after the meeting. The following day at school, Jun Ju finds that the music room is empty. She uses the chance to play the guitar and sing while she is at it, and he and her pals listen to her from outside the room. They are impressed by her singing, but she stops playing as soon as she sees them. She walks out while being followed by the entire group. They compliment her vocals and invite her to play in the band. But Gong Ju walks away, dismissing them altogether. When she walks to Miss Cho's store, she witnesses a gang of women bullying the old woman. She doesn't intervene and quietly returns to her room. It has been a week since she moved into the house, therefore she has to depart. The next day, she packs up her suitcase, still unsure where she is about to travel. Before leaving, she bids farewell to Mrs. Cho. To her astonishment, the woman asked her to stay there as long as she wishes. She has learned to enjoy being with Gong Ju over being alone in the house. Starting that day, Gong Ju gets along with the girls at the school. They practice together every day and get along nicely. That is, until one day, one of the females captures a video of Gong Ju. It angers her so much that she throws her phone aside. The next day, Gong Jaehyu's instructor, Lee In-do, visits her. He tells her that all the boys who abused her have been arrested. Since the evidence is substantial, their bail is almost impossible. Still, their parents are seeking for her everywhere. One day at school, Gong Ju was told that the girls sent a tape of her scene to a music label that wants to sign her. They had expected her to be thrilled about it, but in contrast, she urged them to never intrude her private like that again. And angry, Gongji goes away while the females are left perplexed. After school, Yoonhee tries to talk to her, but she ignores her concerns. Yoongi is patient and doesn't feel bad even when Gongju is nasty to her. That night, Gongju travels to Yoonhee's place for a sleepover. While talking, she has inquired if she has ever kissed a boy before. Weirdly enough, Gongju claims that she has kissed 43 guys. Yoonhee thinks it is a joke and laughs it off. In actuality, Gongju was assaulted by a group of 43 boys. That was the reason she was tossed out of the school and forced to leave the town. That evening, she meets her father for dinner at a restaurant. He requested her to sign a paper but doesn't divulge the contents of it. One day, Gongju is with her friends. When they ask her about her dream in life, she states that she wants to learn how to swim at least 25 meters. The girls just laugh at her. Later, she gets a call from Lee Nan-do who asks her how the meeting with her dad went. When she tells him about the papers she signed, Lee is irritated and tells her to never sign anything without knowing the contents. Upon coming home, she calls her father, but he doesn't pick up. She realizes that she signed a petition for her assaulters to be allowed free. Her father must have been bribed by the parents to make her sign them. When she arrives to school the next day, she finds that her pals have placed a video of her singing on the internet. Gongju freaks out and yells at them to delete it. Having had enough of her rudeness, one of the girls states that everyone hates her and they only talk to her because of Yoonhee, following that the girls are in a lesson, when all of a sudden a number of individuals enter the classroom and swarm around Gongju. It turns out they are the parents of the assaulters who wanted to sign certain paperwork and allow their kids out of prison. They only cease pestering her when Yoonhee brings the principal. Gongju runs to a dark room and cries alone. A flashback reveals us that before all of this, she used to work at a convenience store in her hometown. The son of the owner and her classmate, Dong-yoon, used to be teased by his peers. One day, he comes into the store with scratches and bruises and picks up goodies without paying for them. On looking outside, she observes that the guy is delivering the food to his group of pals. The only friend Gongju has is Hwa-ki, who she adores. Hwa-ki is also Dong-yoon's girlfriend. The two come to Gong Jae-yu's place frequently to hang out. When Gongju arrives home that day, she sees Dong-yoon and his pals in the living room. Dong-yoon was bullied by them to find a spot for them to stay the night. Even Hwa-wei is with the group and is plainly inebriated. Gongju asked them to get out of her house promptly. They refuse to obey her at first, but pack up their stuff when she says her father is going to return home. On their way out, she also requested them to leave Dong-yoon alone from now onwards. The head of the gang threatens to shut her up. To assert his control, he uses a stapler on Dong-yoon's stomach. A horrified Gongju contacts the police and tells them her position, but one of the males grabs the phone away from her. After that day, the guys continue to visit to her place frequently to party. Gongju feels despondent because she can't do anything about it. At one of such events, they mix a narcotic with a glass of alcohol and ask her to consume it. When she refuses, Dong-yoon insists that the boys will depart only when she drinks. It not thinking much of it, she chugs it down. After she starts to feel the effects of the medication, they aggressively pin her down and abuse her in the worst manner. In the adjacent room, they do the same to her companion. Hawaii OK. One of them shoots a video of her and publishes it to a website. After hours of torturing, they only cease when Dong-yeon's father arrives at the residence. Instead of contacting the authorities, he merely stops his son from molesting one of the girls and takes him away. After the encounter, Hwa-ki leaps off a bridge and commits suicide. Gongju is horrified by her best friend's death and informs the police about everything that transpired. Because of this, she was transferred to another school and she was made to leave the city for her own protection. Back in the present, the school principal questioned her what made the parents attack her, but Gongju says nothing. Mrs. Cho's boyfriend, who is also a policeman, comes to the school and brings her back home. After being explained the scenario, he informs Mrs. Cho everything about Gongju's history and urges her to kick her out of the house because the parents might assault them for keeping her. Before they conclude the conversation, Gongju walks downstairs with her baggage, ready to leave. Mrs. Cho's boyfriend stops her midway. Enhanced Dong Yoon's release paperwork. He believes that the person was compelled to assault her, hence he should be allowed free. Even after recommending to toss her out of the house, he asks her to do him a favor and sign the papers. Gongju recognizes this and inquires why she should be the one to run away while the others are the ones at fault. That night, Gongju remains at a sauna and phones her father. When dad doesn't pick up, she phones her teacher, Lee Nan-do, who says her father has taken the petition money and run away. The next morning, she boarded a train. In the meantime, Yuan He and her gang locate the video of Gongju being humiliated on the internet. Unable to see their friend cry for aid, they shut the computer. They finally discovered why Gongju was the way she was, and he texts her to ask her where she is and to say that it is not her fault. In the last scene, Gongju jumps off a bridge and into the river, but she is seen swimming away instead of drowning in the background. Gongju is asked why she wants to learn to swim so desperately. She says that she wants to start over in case she changes her mind, implying that she was always going to leap from a bridge and wanted to have an option of rescuing herself in case she changed her mind. I hope you enjoy the video, and please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment if you do. What are your thoughts on the video? Tell us in the comments. I'll see you again.